Tony, tell us, what are you hearing from people on the ground right now?
So the death toll has been raised now. They're saying it's about 50 people dead and a lot more in the 2000s injured. Tremendous damage, obviously, everywhere, and the hospitals are being overwhelmed at this point. So that's in terms of the toll. In terms of what caused the explosion, it seems that that there was a shipment of ammonium nitrate that came to the port in 2013 and was abandoned there. And I won't get into the details, but the cargo was discharged into the warehouse and kept there in one of the warehouses where cargo that needs to be disposed of or that is being stuck on before it's moved is usually stored. So this appears to be a case of criminal neglect on the part of a failed state that now has resulted in a tragedy.
So from what you're saying, this has been ruled out as an attack. How do you think this is going to further impact the economic crisis that Lebanon is currently facing right now?
Well, Lebanon has a tremendous food security problem right now, and a lot of the food, grain shipments especially, usually comes through the port. So now it's unclear where their imports are going to be coming from and processed. So it clearly adds to an already tragic situation, also caused by the criminality of the ruling class.
The timing of this incident is very curious. Like we just said, Lebanon is facing this mounting economic crisis. It's also grappling with increasing influence from the terror group Hezbollah. But after the explosion, countries, including Israel, are now offering financial and medical aid to help with the fallout. What can we make of the timing of this tragedy?
Well, I mean, it's an accident, so I'm not sure we can say much about the timing in terms of how it impacts geopolitics. But if this was not an incident that involved Hezbollah or that has a direct relation with the tensions with Israel due to Hezbollah's precision-guided missile project, which is of major concern to Israel, at some point down the road, this is a problem that's not going to go away. So it is going to recur. But in this particular case, it seems like another example of the Lebanese the criminal ruling class. Inflicting more damage on its own people than any outside force could.
Let's talk about the hospitals for a second right now. Lebanon's obviously already dealing with all these coronavirus cases. How ready is the health ministry to now take on probably, hundreds, thousands of people that are now coming into the system? And is this going to impact treatment of the coronavirus?
The majority now seem to be going. The private hospitals in Lebanon are usually not taking coronavirus cases. Has been led to to the health ministry and the government hospitals, but now the cases from this explosion, they're going to the private hospitals, which are nevertheless being overwhelmed by the number. But they've kind of separated where these two cases basically how they get sorted out through the health system. Yeah. But obviously, the import of medicine and of medical equipment now is going to be an issue, just like everything else. On the one hand, due to the financial crisis and the shortage of dollars, right. And second, because of what happened to the port.